Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back to my Let's Play of Ys Origin. We last left off pretty much exploring more of the demonic core here. And sadly, we haven't gotten too far, but we are on the next area, so let's go ahead and see what else we have to look for. But before we continue, let me go ahead and upgrade my armor here. Since it never costs that much, I usually don't have any trouble using it, but I'm curious if I should try to work on any of these other blessings or not. You know, but technically getting reduced MP usage or hastened skill recovery wouldn't be bad. Same with but the increased movement speed would be pretty strong, and I'm still kind of curious about it. But yeah, so we have our key, we've made sure we saved, we have full, you know, full burst gauge, so let's go ahead and see what's behind the door. Oh hey, it's that guy. I forget his name though. Kershagal? Yeah, I'm not really sure. Well, I know Hugo himself probably doesn't care much about him, he's just an obstacle in the way at this point. So, who are you gonna fight then? Yes, it's on my hands because I was an idiot. Oh, okay, I didn't actually realize they were brother and sister. So now we get to fight him, even though he's... Okay, that was a bit random, or... Well, not completely, like, I sort of saw it, but... Darn it. Also, why do the icicles have to stick around? And this is kind of an annoying battle. It doesn't help he also has a barrier of his own he can use. I also find it weird that he just uses ice attacks and stuff like that. Since at least as far as I knew, they didn't seem to have any weapon specialties or element. Or I guess that's the thing, you don't really see it, but there are some elemental differences around. It would have been nice if I could have finished him off that way, actually. And I wish he would stop using this darn dragon to keep coming after me like that. There we go. Of course, he didn't go full power, though, since he didn't go demonic with his own power. here it goes. Oh, now we get the cutscene with the tower again. Trying to capture the Yees up in the air here. I'd actually be curious to learn how they make this all happen. Like how much drawing was needed to be done, and then all the effects, especially this whole magic circle thing they set up. Of course, you would think instead of trying to pull it down, they would just simply shoot a giant beam to maybe destroy it instead. But that wouldn't be any fun now, would it? Yeah, it has. Wait, why are you done fighting? Okay, I'm fine with that, I guess. I was happy to only have to fight him once. Well, I guess as brothers go, he's alright in some respects, but we sort of know how bit power obsessed he is, especially with when he fought Unica back in the previous playthrough. But I guess that's it. We now with the rod in hand, we can go to that mirror where we try and find our way through there and take on Zava. Not sure if I should be able to get to her area, but I'm not sure I'll take her on in this episode. And it wouldn't hurt to maybe level up once at least. We'll see. There we go. But yeah, so I guess last time I was mostly talking about how we still have one more guy here. I should probably heal up here. Last time I was talking about how excited I was for Kingdom Hearts and how different, or how certain parts of a game, you know, can make or break it. And I guess, or how you kind of present it helps too. And so we kind of saw the folly from Fallout New Vegas, or not New Vegas, 76. And it was sort of, like as I said, I would be curious to find out what the situation for that was, since they made all these promises, from what I remember seeing about the game, and they sound, of course, really exciting, but in reality, they weren't really implemented that well, and didn't turn out that as grand as people had hoped. So, and it's kind of the same thing with, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda. The main difference being was that when they like they didn't go too far ahead of themselves in trying to make all these promises. They just made the game, released it, and everyone was disappointed because of what the original trilogy kind of set the bar for. But of course, from what I heard, the team who worked on the game had they were learning a whole new engine, and they also had a much smaller budget, as well as, I think, less time to work on it. I'm not certain about the time, but at least they had a much smaller budget, as well as a much smaller team, and they were working with whole new hardware, or a whole new engine, as well as the new consoles. Because when you think about it, the Mass Effect trilogy originally came out for a bunch of different consoles, at least for the PS3 era and so forth. So, definitely was very different than what people were hoping for. Or at least the biggest issue, I guess, was a lot of the bugs, which I think last I heard had been worked out for the most part, so I'll be curious to play it myself eventually, but I guess I'm not in any rush. But we've taken care of all the enemies around here for now, so we should move on. But yeah, so after Mass Effect Day in the Sun, you know, everyone kind of forgave it, ignored it, or enjoyed it for what it was, and moved on. Mass Effect 76, I'm sure will continue for a while. And we'll see kind of where it goes down in history, if they, how well they can fix things, and how much that improves it or not. But yeah, so you would hope that some games who do kind of get into a position like that would maybe try, you know, considering going with the early access approach like a lot of Steam games do. Since some of those games do, I think, benefit a lot from taking that time and going through a lot of beta testing for people. You know, and so it pays off a lot for games to go through beta testing, even if people have to pay for it. I think some people would say it's worth it if they feel they help the game, you know, become better, and as long as it's a reasonable price. And that hopefully you don't expect them to keep paying that same price over and over again for any new iterations or changes or updates. So let's see, so there we go. So here we are back in the Horror of Reflection as our friend Hugo here. And we can at least take our time and try to fight some enemies and grind a little. And thanks to our Eyes of Fact here, we should have a better time trying to take care of some of these enemies here. Since we can just keep firing and eventually hit something. It's kind of the machine gun approach, I guess you could call it. You know, you're bound to hit something if you shoot enough shots. So, but then of course there are some games that I don't think they don't really need to go through beta testing. They just simply need people to understand and take their time with it. And then of course it helps that developers, or that you know, the studios who make these games go through quality assurance. You know, they do. I think some studios take advantage or don't really utilize or take advantage that they can hire a group of people who will be more than happy to play through their game and tell them what's wrong with it, find bugs for it, and try to tell them what's going on. And that doing that will improve their game much more, and you know, make it so that people actually want to, you know, enjoy buying it and playing it instead of just simply telling everyone this is horrible, don't play it, and you know, they start losing a lot of money. Because a good game tends to sell a lot more than a bad one. Like the bad one will have an initial selling. Like they'll sell a certain number of units because they have a fan base or a group of people who don't know about the game or if it's bad or anything, and just they'll make money from that. But if a game's good and people say how good it is, then it'll of course, you know, attract new people or more people, and you know, buy it then, or that'll just of course increase their sales. You know, and then of course you will have some people who are kind of naysayers, or oh, this game's horrible, don't play it, and of course they're just blowing it out their ass because they you know, because it's kind of like the same thing that happened with Breath of the Wild. You know, you had a lot of people who were saying how good it was, but there was a group of people who were saying it was horrible, but the only reason they may have been saying it was horrible was either because it's not the type of game they like playing, and in which case they probably shouldn't have been playing that game anyway, or they just didn't like it that something, you know, that became super popular and, you know, had to be taken down a peg. So, plenty of different reasons. Take your pick. But either way, I hope that when a good game really does come around, that they do take their time with it and that they give it the attention it needs. But, you know, bad games do need to exist, if not for either laughs or to help kind of show people, you know, when something's done wrong and have ways to improve upon it. Because even a bad game can give people of one form of enjoyment or another from a different sense. So I guess the question would be, how often does a game is intentionally made bad and actually sells well, compared to a game that is simply made bad because they never took the time to, you know, fix it. I'd be curious to see how many of those games actually fall into that category. So there's people's question for the day then. What bad games did you ever enjoy, or what games did you think were so bad they must have intentionally made it that way? Go ahead and post your comments down below and tell me what you think. Let's see, if I myself had to pick a game not like that, I'm trying to think. I would believe DBZ for the Game Boy Advance. I forget, I think it was DBZ Saga. Like, cause I remember, you know, back, like I remember picking up the game, I forget why or how. But I remember getting the game and playing it, and it was just so horrible. You know, it was nothing like I thought it would be, and, you know, it was, the controls are bad, everything was bad. I'm pretty sure they knew that this game was bad, but they released it anyway because they thought they could just live on the brand recognition alone. To make them their money. Oh, there we go. We got some Claria ore. So I'll definitely need to go back Yep. Definitely don't want to go through that window just yet. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And let's go ahead and teleport our way to upgrade our new weapon here. Or upgrade the upgrade our weapon so we can finally use our Clariar. Man, am I tongue-tied for some reason. Let's go ahead and temper it here. Oh hey, it's maxed out. So I'm not sure if I need another level or not, but let me go ahead and use that there to upgrade my health. And I think that'll be all for today, guys. So thanks for joining me in traveling through the Mirror Realm after taking on apparently Epona's big brother, Kishigal. Well, I'm not sure if I got that right, but hopefully I did. And join me next time as we go back to the Mirror area and take on Zava. So until then, have fun gaming.